It is important that we draw the line here and that we come here to ensure that we keep this added pressure on the Trump administration to bring Kilmar back to the United States so he can go through due process. This is on behalf of my constituents. I'm not the type of legislator to wait till something gets to the point where it's, so bad we can't do anything about it. Now's the chance. Now's the time to take a stand and say this is not right.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be released.
So the tea just keeps getting sweeter. We now know that he entered the United States illegally in 2012 because he confessed to this in 2019 when he was apprehended by a gang squad at Home Depot with 3 other MS-13 gang members. And allegedly, not only did his apparel or his clothing have gang insignia, but the gang members that were apprehended with him had tattoos that matched the insignia on his clothing. And in 2019, that is when ICE declared him as a MS-13 gang member. Not only ICE, but the police gang unit also labeled him as an MS-13 member. I told you it was going to get sweeter because after this, they then went to a reliable, confidential informant who told them that not only was he part of MS-13, but he was also part of the clique called the Westerners. And this informant also lets them know that he is what is called a chequeo, which is a high-ranking member of the MS-13. This is when the immigration judge agreed that he was an MS-13 member. That rule was then confirmed by a second appellate judge. And this is where in 2021, his wife comes into the picture, which I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but they actually got married while he was in jail. And in their report, it stated that he had received multiple tickets, but never showed up to court. And this is when she then has a baby with him. His wife then goes in twice that year to file for a domestic violence report, getting a restraining order of who she is now calling an excellent father. And this was her report, and it's pretty violent. She said that he had not only beaten her, he had punched her in the eye, and on one occasion had even ripped off her clothing. This is when she spoke about her child in the injunction for safety that she had proposed. But like many other domestic violence suits, she didn't end up showing up to the follow-up in court, which sadly is typical for individuals who are part of domestic violence. Doesn't really sound like an innocent man anymore, right?
All right, y'all. So while these lying lefties continue to celebrate criminals over us law-abiding, tax-paying Americans, while they continue to act nuttier than squirrel turds and double down on wickedness, we got to keep spreading the truth and doing what the verse on my shirt refers to in John 7:24. Don't judge mere appearance, judge righteous judgment. God's word warns us about these kind of people in Isaiah 5. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Don't fall into this trap of twisting sinful, degenerate behavior as though it should be protected. It shouldn't. No. Gangbang culture and all the hot garbage that entails, along with those who go through hell and high water to advocate as though it's okay, you reap what you sow. And they got an eternally rude awakening coming for them if they don't repent and turn their hearts over to Jesus. And I pray that they do. I genuinely don't wish that anybody should perish. God doesn't wish that either. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep exposing the deception. Like here in this clip of Fox News' token liberal, Jessica Tarlov, she tries to pander this false narrative as though Democrats are in support of deportation. And then she gets absolutely steamrolled by Jesse Waters in mic drop fashion. It was beautiful. It's definitely something that we'd label gooder than chicken. But I also went ahead and threw a few more clips in that I think you will thoroughly enjoy. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let's get it poppin'.
I understand that it's hard to say that you're sorry. And I have a toddler and I know what it's like when their face is covered in chocolate and they say, I didn't eat the cookies. I didn't eat the cookies, mama. But that's what's going on here. They need to slow down and follow the process. We're not against deporting people. Just get it right.
You want everybody. You brought them all in, and now you want to do it one by one. There was a lot of mind reading in there. Nobody's freaking out about this except the Democrats.
That's not true.
In the last decade, we deported about 350,000 people a year. So if, Jesse, at that rate, it would take 28 years just to get the illegal immigrants that Biden let in.
Well, Jessica keeps on saying there's all these mistakes. First, she said this guy was picked up because he had a Bulls hat. And then he has tattoos on his hand that spell MS-13.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Read the symbolism, Jessica. What are you, a gang detective? Cut it out.
I just know
and
how
then
to
he's
read.
wearing paraphernalia that says the slogan for MS-13. And then he gets caught up in a gang sweep with ranking members of MS-13 as part of a murder investigation. Then gets pulled over and he's suspected of human trafficking. Then gets accused of slugging his wife twice, and she has it on video. And suddenly his name isn't Maryland Dad, it's due process. You transitioned pretty quickly, Jessica. And to say this administration never admits a mistake, you guys never admitted you opened the border for 4 years.
Yes, we did.
Come on. You're saying this guy
The border was
is
tied.
you're saying this guy's afraid to go home? Because that's funny. In 2019, when he was popped, he said he wasn't afraid to go home, Jessica. Yeah. Funny that you're into due process now, after bringing us the Me Too movement, cancel culture, and the Trump trials. You can't break into the country and ignore the process of coming here and then want a process to leave. You cannot cut the line to come here and then ask to be put in a line to go home. If you guys are going to be the defense attorneys for every criminal gangbanger in America, after you've allowed the gangs to invade and now say all of them need lawyers, it's going to be an eternity, Jessica, to get these people out of here. Johnny went to Baltimore, and the people of Maryland are laughing at you. Blacks, Hispanics, whites, they think it's ridiculous what Van Hollen has done to be able to defend foreign rights instead of the rights of the American people. And the slippery slope argument. Is this the slipperiest slope you've ever seen? If they deport an MS-13 terrorist, you're next. Who? The Puerto Ricans? Anybody with a tan, Jessica? Are you next? No one believes that. This is the dictator hoax all over again, and you lost on that the last time.
So there's this illegal immigrant. He was living in Maryland, designated MS-13 terrorist, and Donald Trump deported him. How does that make you feel?
I feel safer.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
Need to go. I mean, that's it.
But he was a father.
But he's still a terrorist.
Okay. I mean, but there's children living without fathers now.
He should have picked and choose, so he picked to be a terrorist instead of worrying about his children.
The Democrats, they want him back. They say he was wrongfully deported. He has a wife and a kid who's a citizen. They're calling this a national emergency. Is this a national emergency?
I wouldn't call it a national emergency. We got more things going on.
We have more things, more fish to fry.
I just found out about it, so I don't think so. What kind of national emergency? For what? What is the emergency for?
There ain't no national emergency, no.
He was accused of hitting his wife twice and was a suspected human smuggler. Was he wrongfully deported?
No. He need to go.
If he's a smuggler, yeah, he needs to be deported.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Your senator here, Chris Van Hollen, he flew to El Salvador where this guy was deported. He met with them, had lunch with them, had margaritas on the table. What's up with your senator?
I have no idea, but I do believe that was a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Margaritas.
You agreeing with somebody whipping their wife, terrorizing where you live, then you don't need to live here either.
Senator Van Hollen, you need to come see me, Mr. Coley, because you doing like that. You need to take care of home before you go in other states.
He went to El Salvador.
Oh, that's another country, excuse me.
What has Senator Chris Van Hollen ever done for you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
For me, nothing.
Nothing that I know of.
He ain't do me. I can admit that.
I've never even heard of this person.
Do you want Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this quote-unquote Maryland dad, living back in Maryland?
No. No.
No. No.
Not if he's doing trafficking, no.
Why the want somebody like that back? No.
What is your message to the Democrats who really want him back in your community?
Why would you want that in my community? Bring it to your community and see how long you like it up there.
Leave them, or y'all go over there with them.
You're focused on the wrong thing.
If they illegal coming over here, send them back.
Could that be a Logan Act violation? Because he in no way, shape, or form, even though he's in the U.S. government, he did not have the approval of the U.S. government to go down there and negotiate the release of a prisoner.
It's very possible, but at something that's even bigger than that is he looks like an utter fool. Because now the information's coming out about this guy. Obviously, yes, He was in the country illegal. His wife was saying he was an abusive person. He was hanging out with MS-13 gang members when he got picked up, and he's down in El Salvador trying to negotiate a release. This is the buffoonery of the Democratic left. It's the reason they were boat raced last November. It's the reason they will continue to lose. How about a U.S. senator actually stand up for the American people, the rule of law, actually securing our borders and sending people home who do not belong in our country? I wish he would spend his time doing that, as opposed to going down to El Salvador to prove to all Americans that he's a fool.
Absolutely.
It's insane to all thinking people. You have, in this case, illegal aliens from Venezuela sent here by Maduro who are members of a foreign terrorist organization, Tren de Aragua, an organization that the intelligence community has found is operating at the direction of a hostile, adversarial foreign regime carrying out criminal enterprises to destabilize the political system in the United States. Those are the facts when it comes to TDA. So they're all illegal, they're all gang members, they're all foreign terrorists. And now we are being told that they cannot be expelled from our country without an extraordinary amount of individualized adjudication at the district court, circuit court, Supreme Court, up and down, up and down, up and down. No American citizen receives this level of so-called due process. Because it isn't due process. This is called infinity process to keep you here forever. Yeah. That's what this is. Oh no, it's crazy. No American citizen charged with a crime, with a serious crime inside the United States, a U.S.-born American citizen receives this kind of process. Millions of dollars in free legal services, representation at every single level. I mean, do you think that there is any, for example, any American citizen who was persecuted, who was innocent related to January 6th? Do you think they could just get this kind of relief, this kind of process? No. It was never available to them.
Yeah.
The whole system was rigged against them, just like it's rigged in favor of illegal alien invaders.
Well, and Stephen, the point you make is fantastic, which was I was going to say too. If I commit a crime here in America as an American citizen, whatever it may be, reckless driving, DUI, whatever, I am taken to jail, where I then have to pay bond to get out of jail, where I have to come back to a court appearance. These people, maybe they have a court appearance, maybe they don't, maybe they violated
I can tell you who won't be hearing your case is the Supreme Court.
Right,
Do you have any idea how many criminal defendants, American citizens, who, by the way, have maybe committed crimes that aren't even that serious, but who risk the loss of reputation, the loss of all their money, who risk the loss of their family, the loss of their freedom. Again, we saw this throughout the last 4 years.
Yes.
Who are not able to get anything close to even a fraction of the judicial interference that illegal alien gang members receive.
Yeah.
How many pressing constitutional issues have been swept aside that American citizens need resolved,
right,
who are being persecuted by left-wing mayors, left-wing governors, left-wing bureaucrats who actually need relief? How many of their concerns have been swept aside so our entire judicial system can spend hour after hour, week after week, month after month scrutinizing every single last detail of a deportation of an invader sent here by a foreign government?